each person can go live on their own page and have it streamed, and they can see that part of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Playing around with that. So I got one thing, your community, because I want you to talk about your community too at the end,
Okay.
and how they can be a part of that community. So what's the link to that? Because I want to make sure I have that in the show notes as well.
It's just universalabundance.co.
Okay. That way, everybody who's watching, who's listening, or whatever. So yeah, so I just did
and really,
the first one had someone.
If they go to noelstrain.com, they could just see all my stuff, like the
Got it.
community.
I'm gonna have that too. So I have your web, noelstrain.com, your Instagram, and then that.
Yeah.
So they can go straight to the community if they want to, but I still want you to talk about that. So I want to have a note here. And then, how do you want me to introduce you?
I just call myself a attraction and manifestation teacher more than a coach, because I'm one, teaching primarily by example, and I'm more thinking how can I affect like macro. But at the same time, I'm always ready to help any one person that comes into my path, whether it be out in the world or someone that comes into my life, or every once in a while I have people that ask me to have like one-on-ones with them, and I'll do it. I'm just not
I used
promoting
to do
it.
one-on-ones, but that's not my favorite thing to do. And I was doing well with that,
Yeah.
but it wasn't lighting me up. And now this new way of how I'm doing it, launching this new group that it's the Laugh Your Way to Total Transformation group, where they get to membership, where they get a bunch of programs. Any program I put together, any live event, they get discounts on, but they get all that, and they get access where I go live and do some group coaching in the private Facebook group. That's how I want to do one to many, not one to one. It just didn't light my soul on fire, but it was great helping people. It didn't. That's not how I'm meant to be here to actually do more. So I like it because we're teachers. We're all teachers too, so it's good.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Teach them first and foremost by example, and then whoever we're inspired to do stuff with beyond that is awesome. All right, I'm ready.
You are in Miami, and I'm sure it's warm as hell compared to here right now.
It's warm compared to everywhere in Miami. I'm as sensitive as I can be, but I tell people, if you want to set up a travel spot for the wintertime, this is a good option.
So, what's the temperature there?
You sure you want to know this?
Yep.
78 degrees right now, and it's a little breeze off the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty, but it is going to cool for us a little bit, they said, next week. So we might get down to like 68, 67 next week.
Dude, it's 19 degrees here right now.
I know.
You're all talking about it's going to get cold.
I know. People, you got to see it. People in Miami, when it's 67, they have scarves and like heavy jackets, and
yeah,
this is a tropical. This is definitely tropical.
I love it because I have a friend of my wife's who died. She's in the Orlando area. And she talks about when it gets like the 70 degrees, they're freaking like coats and stuff. And I'm like, and we go down, I'm like, this is freaking warm compared to what we had.
Yeah.
But I'm, like I said, when I was on yours, I'll be in Miami for a moment on February 15th, because we're going on a cruise.
Nice.
And we leave out of Miami. So we'll be down in Miami. That's be the first time to actually see the city. I've been in the airport because we did a layover there, so I can't really technically say I've been to Miami when you've been stuck in the airport. But we're going to go down and visit Miami. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind moving somewhere in that area. It's down south and nice and beautiful beach.
There's no state income taxes in Florida either, which is a nice perk. So
yeah, you don't have sales tax either, do you?
There's sales tax. There's sales tax.
Okay.
It's the state income that there's us and maybe 4 or 5 other states like Nevada and Washington State, Tennessee, Texas. No state income tax, so they just don't take money from us at the end. We all pay obviously federal government, but the state doesn't take anything, which is
I like that,
which is nice.
Somewhere is like no sales tax on like big purchases.
Montana,
like property taxes.
Oregon, I think, has no sales tax.
I think Illinois might be the same way.
Yeah.
I finally was able to get a new car from the wreck, and that's going to be, I got property tax and sales tax I got to pay on that here in 30 days. That's going to be fun, like right before we leave on the trip, too.
Gotcha.
So it's been fun, but hey, I got a new car and I'm excited about it. So
For sure.
finally, after over 30 days, like 45 days without the car from that wreck. So cool. Well, I'm going to hit record so that we can get going and get diving into this conversation. I'm looking forward to hearing your side of things because I know that I'm going to learn some things too because we're always learning from each other and being inspired by each other and bringing the light and bringing the gifts. I just did one on, was it Monday or Tuesday? I don't know. I started announcing. I'm like, I love this format of being able to do that. I'm like, so I just stole it from you.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I'm like, I'm using this and actually started interviewing. I actually booked a couple people from that you've already interviewed already.
Nice.
So that's really cool. I got like 3 interviews this week already. So 4 total, including yours.
Yeah.
This week. So I'm excited about that. But man, this is the fun part for me. I love doing it.
For sure. I just leave it up to the guest as far as, I know obviously what parts of my schedule work easily. So once I figure that out, I just leave it up to the guests when they want to do it. And it's cool because you'll have a bunch recorded. I try not to get too far behind, which I have in the past, but to where I'm consistently putting them out. And then you get to the point where you're like, well, geez, I have all these recorded. Now maybe I'll put out, 2 a week. Maybe now I'll put out 4 a week. It's just, so now for me, it's just like I'm putting them out almost every day because I always have more scheduled. So, yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at because I was just playing around with it this week, and I realized I'm gonna have to get a new computer because my processor is not the 111 is
Nice.
not ideal for my editing software. Trying to edit and do all this other stuff, I'm like, because I was trying to do one and just would not. It was downloading the audio, but like part of the video wasn't downloading and it wouldn't open. And I'm like, shit, I got to get a new.
Yeah.
Get a new computer, which I want to anyway, because this one's from like 2011. I had a new hard drive put in, but the processor is not ideal, and I want to get a MacBook, so I'm in the process of manifesting a MacBook.
Awesome.
So that's where I'm at on
that's
that.
what
one.
I'm using right now.
All
I know how to use is the Apple stuff. I don't really know how to use all the other stuff. So it's super easy to edit and do all this stuff on a MacBook. So that's
it literally, when I was trying to edit and I was trying to add an in video on because I'm starting to promote this new group of mine, I was trying to add it together. And that first interview went for an hour and a half, and I was like, oh shit, we've been talking forever. And it took me 4 hours trying to download after I'd edited to get it to work.
Oh, wow.
And it still didn't. 3 days. I had to just take what I had from the recording and just throw it on the YouTube and do a quick end edit on the end of it. And that's it. I couldn't put any of the graphics, music, or anything to it because it wouldn't download. I was like, damn it, 3 days. But I also pretty much manifested that distraction too. I realized through my own internal stuff I manifested that because of it was really my ego saying, no, you can't go and do this. You're going to die kind of thing. It's like, no, you got to stay safe here. And I realized it was a distraction to keep me from moving forward. And I said, screw that. And then I said, I'm just going to put it out here like it is, figure it out the rest of it. I'm going to make snippets. What I'm doing is making snippets of each one. And then throughout the week, just kind of throw them out there and keep promoting that certain episode. And the same thing with the actual audio recording. Now, the audio recording, that took for freaking 10 minutes, and I got to edit and do exactly what I wanted and then throw it on the Buzzsprout, which I use, and then iTunes. I'm like, that was easy. The video part was what took me forever to figure out, and I finally said, screw it. Just threw it up there and realized that I'm just going to have to get a new computer here soon. So I'm manifesting a MacBook Pro. Because I was going back and forth between the Air and the Pro, and I'm like, no, the only reason I'm going back and forth because cost. And I'm like, I'm going to manifest what I want.
Absolutely. Love it.
So that's where we're at. So thank you for the inspiration of doing it like this and actually bringing guests on, because I find this is what I love to do is have conversation. I remember a year ago and going, how do I get paid to talk and have conversations with people?
For sure.
And do what I love. So this is on that way leading to doing that. And this is so much more fun than me sit behind a mic freaking talking to a recording and putting stuff out there where I don't have to come up with everything. Allow these guests to share and then inspire and then go back with a great conversation. So let's dive in, brother.
Let's do it.
Let me hit recording. Oh, you know what I want to do before I do that? I'm doing something with this too. I'm going to do a selfie with you. How do we do it? If I can get you in here. Move this out of the way for a minute. If I can get you in here. There we go. In there. Always having fun, brother.
Love it.
It's my thing. That's my signature pose too. That
I know. That's good. You can't help but smile when you see that picture. So
it's my thing. People are like, man, you're gonna get a bug in your mouth. I'm like, I've been doing it for over a year and had not had that happen yet. But if I do, it's okay. I'll get some protein, I guess, or fiber.
Exactly.
All right, dude. Let's jump on and get this going. Let me introduce you. Second time doing this. Hit record. Hey everybody, it is Tony freaking Fonte. How you doing? You are listening to the Laughing Through Life podcast. Glad you're here. I have an amazing guest on here, Noel Strain from Miami, Florida, who says it's cold down there right now. But no, it's going to get cold. He said it's going to get like 68, 70 degrees. For anybody listening in the Midwest or any other region that's cold, we can laugh at him and say that's not cold. Especially now in St. Louis when it's 19 degrees. I'm glad you're on here, Noel. Noel is a attraction and manifesting teacher. He loves a teacher because he not only does he teach people, he's actually doing it and living it himself. And so a lot of times he doesn't even have to say the words. He's just living it by example, and people see that, and the energy that he puts out, the love and the light that he's putting out there, the inspiration he's putting out there by living life from this manifestation, from attracting, because that's who we are, allows us to live fully and have a ton of fun. And that's what this podcast is all about. If you are new here, it's about breaking these cycles and learning to have fun in life, because we were coming here to manifest, we are here to create, and we are here to live fully and experience what we desire, because our desires come from our heart, and more importantly, to have a ton of fun doing that. Am I right?
100%. I say that word more than any other word. Fun.
Fun. And I love to have fun. So, and that's the laughing through life, because everybody's so stressed out. Most people are so stressed out. They're so worried. They're so focused on everything that's outside of them and thinking life has to be different than what it is. And they're missing the moments and realizing that we can be happy and fun now. That's how we're supposed to be in life. And it's about shedding those cycles, shedding those layers of pain and struggle, and really stepping into that power and confidence and happiness that's within. We're all out there seeking out. It's like everything comes from within, and then the mirror reflects that on the outside world. So I'm glad you're on here, and I want to really jump in and dive in with you and learn more about you. Yes, I was just on your podcast, and I was like, man, I got to have him on, because this is a fun conversation we had, and a deep conversation, but fun at the same time. I'm like, I got to have him on mine. And you have your podcast, which is Enlightened Conversations. So everybody go check that out too. I'll have that in the notes and the comments below, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're listening to from your favorite podcast. I'll have that in the notes so that you can go and listen to his conversations that he has with some amazing people. And he's been doing this thing for a while, so he's kind of got it figured out. So I want to have you start off sharing with you, how'd you get to becoming an attraction and manifestation teacher? How'd you get to that? Where's your journey and leads you on this spiritual journey to where you are right now doing what you do?
I love it. Well, first, thanks for having me on here, Tony. I love being guest on podcasts because the host actually wants me to flow out all this energy. Not that my audience doesn't. I know that they enjoy it as well. However, I'm making sure to allow the guest on mine to share everything that they're inspired to share. So when I get to be the guest, it's fun. I just get to kick back, and whatever you ask me, I'm an open book, and I'm excited to share. So I appreciate you, and I love the title of your podcast, Laughing Through Life. Like, that's what I'm all about, is just knowing that because this is the only moment promised to any of us right here and now. If we're laughing, what else would we rather be doing, besides having fun? And so I love how you are, and that's why I wanted to have you as a guest on mine, because I could see that from your page, just spending a few seconds on there. I knew that that's what you were all about, from the selfie that you just took before we started recording, with mouth wide open. And, I saw that immediately on your page. You post shots like that with your beautiful daughter, and you guys are just, I could tell, having fun. And so I knew that we would enjoy, and we did. And now I'm excited to be on yours and share anything I can to inspire, uplift, and impact your listeners. And you asked me how this all, turned into what it is. Well, just like all of us, the life experience. I'm 37 now. So I guess this 37 years of life is what allowed all this to flow the way it is. But it's just from life experiences and just realizing that, there's no special breed of any of us, no special breed of human. All of us, whether you call it, we're connected with the non-physical energy, call it God, the universe, love, source energy, spirit, the force, for the Jedi fans out there. I had a guest call it that recently.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's the first time I'd ever put it into like how I describe it. I'm like, that's awesome. I totally am there. So just once I became aware that was who and what all of us truly are, which for me, the light bulb really switched on at 20, I'd say 26, 25, 26. Had a mentor that suggested that I read a book called The Science of Getting Rich, which was written by Wallace Wattles back in 1919, who was a pastor, and but it was a law of attraction book, and it kind of linked the some of the teaching that I got as a little kid, which was more organized religion, which I always resonated with the love parts and love each other and just help each other. Like I always resonated with those parts. I always say that truth, we can feel truth when we hear it, we can feel it. And then there were some other parts that didn't always resonate with me whenever it comes to religion or any spiritual teaching that is talking about control or manipulating, or if you don't do this, then this will happen. That never really sat with me. So when I was able to kind of link some of these things, when I had the mentor suggest that book to me, now I realize, okay, I understand now fully how all of us are connected, all of us are one, and all have the same non-physical energy flowing to and through us that we can all flow into our life experience. This is awesome. I'm just going to enjoy this while I'm here. And it wasn't all like, and it's still not, for any of us, it wasn't all like fairies and candy canes and unicorns like from that moment on. But at least the light bulb was on to where now I couldn't become unaware of this truth, and I've been able to evolve since then on purpose, and just being open to meeting awesome people like Tony, or someone suggesting an awesome book, or you stumbling on a YouTube video or a podcast or whatever. Just open to allowing life to evolve and not be so uptight about, I wonder if this is going to work for me, am I enough? Is this person over here just this, this special, unicorn of human where they get to have all the success and, maybe there's none for me. Like I realized at that point that there was, whatever it is that we wanted to be, do, and have for any of us was available. So in a nutshell, that's how it all came about.
Awesome. No, I love that you said that. So I actually was taking some notes so that I can respond back, because you triggered some inspiration in me, and it's like, wow, there's some cool things, but just also reminders for my own self. And you were talking about, well, first that book, The Science of Getting Rich. I've heard of that book, and I think I've dabbled in it years ago, but I wasn't in that position to really take it in because I wasn't there yet. I was not even close to being near that. But what I love, and this is something that I've been experiencing, especially over the last 2 years, is that we can feel truth. We don't need, per se, someone outside of us saying, hey, this is how the truth is, this is the truth. Because like you said, when you were in an organized religion, right, it's like some things just doesn't resonate with you because if your soul going, no, this is not truth. But everybody has their own sense of truth where they are, right? It's like where their journey is, that's their truth in that moment. And they can only handle another level of truth. Because I believe now, and you can confirm or not, is that there is no absolute truth here in this physical plane. It comes from higher dimensions. And as we evolve and as we grow ourselves personally, as we seek this truth, as we seek to grow more, we have these truths given to us. And that's how we evolve and move on as we're doing that. And we feel that through the experience of our soul. It's like it's hard to explain with someone. It's like, how do you know? And I'm like, I just feel this. That's truth. That's absolute truth right there. I'm like, that is truth. But it's our truth in that moment, our little speck of the absolute truth, because it may not be true to someone else in that moment because their journey's different, right?
Absolutely.
So that's one awesome thing I loved about what you just said about we can feel truth.
Can I comment on that real quick?
No, you can't. No, I'm just kidding.
so,
Of course you
so,
can.
and I love how you phrased it too, because we have universal truth, which are the laws of the universe, which
Yes.
govern us all. So, here's a balcony right here. No matter if you were good or bad yesterday, however you were classified, no matter if you're black or white, short or tall, whatever it is, if any of us step off that balcony, universal truth, laws of the universe say that gravity, the law of gravity, is going to take us down. None of us are going to fly sideways or up or anything like that. And same with the law of attraction. And there's just universal laws that govern this whole process. Everything else is all possibility, and that's the way that I like to look at it. So, like you just said, like just because it's true for me and is what I believe is my story about life, and whatever our story is what we're going to see play out, what someone else is true for them, what their story is, could be totally different, and that's going to play out for them. So we might be talking about the same subject, but it's playing out totally different for us. So life is all possibility, and if it's something that for us individually you see it in our mind as far as this is something that I could see could be true for me, then yes, it is. It's possibility for you, and if it's not possible for you, if it's something that you can't see it, like I don't know, that's not for me really, then it's not. So yes.
And there's infinite possibilities. And there's infinite possibilities for ourselves too, even on our own journey as we're evolving. Because just because we have an outcome that we think is perfect for us, that's usually when God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, right? Um, usually laughs at us because it's like, no, that's not necessary. There's something better for you. But we have this idea based on where we are at that very moment, saying this is the best outcome for me. And what I've learned over the years is that we either get what we desire or we get something better. But it's all in timing too, divine timing, when we are ready to receive it. And it's about letting go of those blocks. And I'm sure you're going to get to this too, is like letting go of those blocks that are preventing that flow of love and attraction to us, because everything flows to us. Like we can think consciously, oh, I want this and I don't want this. But subconsciously in our energetic field can say, no, you don't feel that. You don't feel worthy of that. And it's about going in and finding those layers that are preventing that flow of manifestation, that flow of attraction to us. And I know there's a lot of people out there, and again, it's this where their journey is, that they think that the law of attraction is a bunch of crap, right? And I'm laughing at that because it's just where they are in their journey. And actually, at one point, I think I thought that too. I'm like, oh, I've tried it; it's not working because I wasn't there. I didn't have that energetic. But science has already proven we're all energy, and there's quantum physics, and all of this does play out in the way that and how and illness and all that stuff. And I know when I was on your show, and if you haven't listened to that yet, I want you to go over and listen to our show where he interviewed me, where Noel interviewed me, where you talked about this aspect of flow and illness and dis-ease. You talked about that in there, and I think it's pretty powerful on that. So it's amazing that we talk about this flow and universal truths. And I had a great mentor of mine say to me, he goes, if someone can prove what you believe is not true, is false, it's like someone can prove that they're doing something different than what you believe. At that point, it's not a truth. It's just a belief you hold on to, which is okay. And that's one of the things I've had to learn to shed. And that's the ego really doing that, right? Is saying, well, this is right. What I'm doing is the truth. And what you're doing is not. And I just want you to come over here. And that's not how it works. It's like, no, I'm going to love you where you are and allow you to evolve on your path and your journey, right? And I'm going to evolve on mine, and I'm going to love the hell out of you because there is no one way.
Absolutely.
Would you agree with that part of it?
100%.
There is no one way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all a belief is a thought that any of us have thought over and over and over and over and over again. And you think anything enough, you're going to believe it for you. That's why affirmations are so powerful, because we can rewire those beliefs. If something you're seeing play out in your life today out there in the audience, whether it be in health, relationships, financially, and you're constantly seeing yourself think about something or speak about something, which are just the evidence of your thoughts, whatever we're speaking, a certain way. And if it's anything other than something that you're really excited about, anything that you really like, then I would just encourage you to ask yourself, what story, what new belief would I like to have so that I could share that and then now see that to start to manifest. Because when it comes to law of attraction or manifestation or anything, to simplify it, where we place our attention is where we place our energy. And if we put energy into anything long enough, we're going to start to see physical manifestation. I like to joke, like the reason that Tony and I are sitting in chairs right now is because at some point a human in history said, I'm tired of standing up or I'm tired of sitting on the ground. So I'm going to put attention on something that I can create that will allow me to sit at an elevated position to where I don't have to be on the ground with all these critters biting my ankles and all of these things. And so they started putting their attention and their energy on creation of what we now call a chair. And they flowed that long enough, probably had some mistakes, probably sat on it a few times and fell over, with the first chairs. But they put enough attention on it that it manifested into what we now call a chair, and of course evolved over the years because other humans have put their attention and energy on evolving the chair. And everything that we see in physical manifestation is that way for all of us. So that simplifies law of attraction. I'll take it one step further for people just to become aware of what we're seeing in our life as far as say we go out in the world today and we're not in a very good mood. We're human, so we've all done it. Say you're just frustrated or worried or anxious about something. I encourage you to pay attention to the experiences that you have during that day, the people that you meet that are reflections of what's going on internally. I'm not saying you're wrong for being frustrated or anxious or angry or upset or whatever it is. I just encourage to start being aware of how the world responds to that energy, because the thoughts that you think are going to be a match to that. So you'll find yourself speaking, frustrated, anxious, worried things, and you might have some interactions with other humans that are not so pleasant. Those are the days where you get in arguments. Like, you're not really getting in arguments when you're in a happy mood, when you're enjoying it, because you would go from happy to being, angry, argumentative. So it's just great to be aware, because if our thoughts are, frustrated, worried, our words are frustrated, worried, our actions are frustrated, worried, what are our results going to be? You're flowing frustrated, worry, attention, and energy towards life. You're going to manifest more frustrated and worried things. And you could simplify law of attraction that way. And of course, it works in the reverse as well. Thank goodness for us, because if you're in a good mood and you're excited and you're happy, you're at least at peace or content, then your thoughts are going to be peaceful and content thoughts. And then all of a sudden you're open for synchronicity to come, where it's like, ooh, that was a really good idea. And now you're excited. So now you have a spark in your life, and you can start putting attention and energy on whatever that spark is. And if you put enough attention and energy on any spark, what happens? It turns into a flame. And then you put more attention and energy onto it, and then your soul's on fire. And then you're attracting people that want to come be a part of whatever it is that you're on fire about. So to me, that's law of attraction in simplest forms, where whether someone believes in the woo-woo stuff that they've heard or not, just start to pay attention to how the world is responding to your energy, and take it from there.
I love that you talk about how the outside world reflects how we feel on the inside. So everything that we see in our physical world is actually something that we feel on the inside at some level, whether it's conscious or not. If we have this, because everything is energy, a thought has energy, a feeling has energy, everything is energy. So when we have these stored emotions, these stored memories, these stories that we have had throughout our entire life, if we are, even if it's subconscious, because most of it we just push down and don't even deal with anymore because we didn't want to deal with it, and whether we're taught that way or not, we just don't deal with that. So it's still living that out. It's still living out that way. So therefore, it's like, whoa, what are we doing here? And we are creating and manifesting based on how we feel. Every single thing, how people show up in our lives, how people do things in our lives, how things show up in our lives. It's how we feel. And we can sit here and think this, right? We can think what we want all along, but if we don't align the energy with that, it's never going to come. It's never really going to manifest until we get to that point and allow all that to release to having fun. But you said something too is really, really cool. I love it. It's like, if you're happy and you're laughing, you're going to have a lot of different things coming on. But when you are in a happy mode, you do create these synchronicities, because that's when you're in happiness and you're in this laughter, that's a form of love. The universe is love, right?
Absolutely.
God's love, whatever you want to call it, it's love. That's who we are at our core being. When we are in love, we are aligned. Things start flowing easily to us. Love is flowing, and it's just absolutely fun. And that's why I created this Laughing Through Life, because I used to be that guy. It was so angry and bitter and insecure and wanting to fight, and like, man, I just go anywhere and it just shows up. People want to fight. It's the energy. It's the energy. Our energy precedes us. Doesn't matter what we say or how we do things, if our energy is not in alignment with that, it's going to show up before we do. So if you're like, people are in an interview, I thought I did well, I said all the right things, but if you didn't feel worthy of that job, your energy is going to say, you don't feel worthy. We're going to let them feel that energy.
For sure.
Because we all are all connected. And you said that at the beginning, we're all connected, and that's why. So I love that, man. That's really awesome. And now you talked about control and manipulation and organized religion and things like that, control manipulation. And I love that too, because that's kind of where I was at. And I had this, where it's like something's not, there's something more, there's something deeper here. And then when I realized that God, universe, universal abundance, love, right, is not fear, it's not manipulation, it's not guilt, it's not shame, it's not fear. I think I said that already, but we're saying it again.
It's worth saying it twice, for sure.
Yes, not fear. Anything that's fear-based is not true of God.
True.
It's not true of your high self, high consciousness. Again, universe, however you want to say it, I think you guys get the point. It's not true of who God is, because God is love. And anything that is not love is not of God. So anything that we read or listen or are told that's different from love, even if it seems like it's sugar-coated, no, but this happened, but because of this, it's love. No, it's still fear, guilt, and shame, whether you want to look at it this way or not. It's like, no, it is either it is this or it's not. It's like, it's not that way. You're trying to sugarcoat fear, guilt, and shame, manipulation. It's like, if you don't believe this way, then this is going to happen to you. But because of this, but you have to believe this way in order for that to happen. No, that's not true love. So absolutely love that you pointed that out, because that's been a huge journey for me on how to really let go of the things that no longer serve me, that don't resonate with me. And I think that's the biggest thing here with many people, is that they're trying to be something other than who they are. What are your thoughts on that?
I think, for a lot of people right now, it's just because you mentioned, like, a lot of people talk a lot about the subconscious, and for me that represents blind spots for us, where we're just not aware of what these things that are going on, that are not conscious, that we're not aware of yet, are doing as far as with our energy. And I've been here. Like, I had blind spots, in the previous parts of my life where I was being critical of myself, being critical of others, and it all stemmed from that becoming a habit for me as I was growing up. Fun fact for everybody listening, by the time we turn 30, over 90% of our thoughts on a daily basis, which, by the way, we have on average 70,000 thoughts per day, about 90% of those have become habits for us by the time we turn 30. So if we're habitually, worried about things or frustrated about things or being critical of ourselves or others, that's become a habit for us by the time we're 30. So that was a blind spot for me. So I couldn't even do anything about it. And until anything comes to the light where we're aware of it, now we actually have a choice. And you may or may not choose to do anything about it. Like, I'm not telling you what to choose. I just love doing what I do and sharing what I share, because I like seeing the light bulb switch on for humanity. So now everybody has the power of choice, and then you choose to do what you need to do. And you may not even understand how to take something that is being critical of yourself or others, and how to rewire that. Well, there's lots of ways that we can rewire our brain, through meditation, through setting the intention and being aware of what we're doing. We can start to move in a direction that we want to go. And so, I definitely think the biggest light bulb moment for anyone is when we become aware of who and what all of us truly are. When we are connected with God, with this love, where we just feel good, where we feel at peace, or anything that feels good. We're like, I genuinely feel good right now. I really genuinely feel at peace. I'm happy. I'm laughing. I'm joking. Whatever it is, in those moments, you're connected. And I encourage everybody you can fully trust the thoughts that pop into your mind, like the people that come into your path, the experiences that you have in life. You can really fully enjoy those, because in those moments, there's no difference between where God ends and you begin, because you're actually living out the light that's shining from you is God. That's the non-physical energy that allows our hearts to beat, that allows our brains to work the way they do, that allows the planets to orbit the way they orbit. Like, this is not just by mistake that everything just flows in perfect synchronicity in the universe. Like, this is happening, for a reason. And this is the power that is within us, with all of us, while we're here living in these physical bodies. So Once the light bulb switches on for us and we're aware of that, my gosh, then the next question is, what do I feel most inspired? What sounds most fun? What sounds most fulfilling to do while I'm here, while I'm in this physical shell? No matter what any of us believe, I've never heard a story of anyone saying like they've seen like another Noel exactly like walking around the earth, whether we come back and live again or have lived before or not. This physical shell, I think we can all agree, like we're going to experience this once. So we might as well, in my opinion, just have as much fun and enjoy it as much as we can. Ask ourselves, what would we want to see in the world, that maybe doesn't exist right now, or something that does exist that we want to see it evolve, like the person did at one point with the chair and the evolution of that and everything else that we see. And whatever that is for you, be really excited that right now you don't have to know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, who it's going to be, if you want a relationship, or any of these how questions, not our work. And just know that when we are in that energy of love or happiness or joy or feeling content and at peace, we're a match to those awesome synchronicities, those ideas that will allow you to create whatever it is that you want to create, or the synchronicity of meeting the person that is the relationship that you want to have in your life. And when we're not, we're just more matched to synchronicities, because we talk a lot about synchronicities out here in the world right now. At least I do. But we're a match to synchronicities that we really don't enjoy, which is another part of life. So when you're frustrated, you're worried, you're anxious, you're mad, you're angry, you're enraged, it's not going to be surprising to me if I choose, because it's a choice, to live in that state for a full, for me, I'm not even okay personally because I'm just aware of it. So if I have one critical thought about myself or others, two critical thoughts, like that's more than enough critical thoughts. Like I'm not letting it go minutes, hours, or days to where just the momentum carries me to where I just feel terrible. Like I'm just not willing for that for me. But I wouldn't be surprised if I allowed myself to, be in these energies where it's not feeling good, and then all of a sudden physically I start to feel sick, or all of a sudden I get into an accident or hurt myself, or all of these things. These are synchronicities as well, things that we can't predict. We just aren't as excited about those, and we don't talk about those as much because we just want to talk about the ones that are awesome, which I love to talk about those also. But I'm just aware of both, and it doesn't surprise me when that happens in the world, because it's a match to our energy. So I think I answered your question somewhere in there, brother. I don't remember.
You were in the flow, man, the power coming from you right there at that moment. I was just like, yeah. It was, and I don't even know what how the question was I asked. So, but it was good stuff, man. There's so much greatness in that. What you said about the synchronicities and the awareness, and that's the key. The key is shifting your awareness. If you want to change your life, shift your awareness and stop beating yourself up when you act a certain way and you're triggered, or you think a certain way, you do a certain way, because everything, and I hope everybody hears this, everything is for our good. Even the shit that happens in our life is for our good, because we're here to experience. We signed up when we came here to say, I want to experience this so then I can get to this point. We were allowing ourselves to experience certain things so that we can get to where we wanted. Like everything growing up in my life, everything that happens, even the wreck in December. Well, that was a wake-up call to get my attention, but because I wasn't listening. So sometimes the universe does that to give synchronicities to say, you're not listening. We're getting a little frustrated with you, so you got work to do. And then bam, and then something happens, and it gets us back on track. But it's the awareness piece. It's the awareness that we can change something different. It's like, I'm done living this way. I'm done allowing life to control me. I'm done living and settling and just doing this thing because everybody thinks I should just have this job or I should be doing this thing, and go back to doing what we really are doing, is being aware. Like I had someone ask me today, how the hell are you so happy all the time? And you just seem like you're just having fun and all the time. I'm like, I had to get here. I stopped seeking outside of me, but it's awareness. Even today, it's like I'm not happy all the freaking time. I still get frustrated. I still get crabby. It's a human thing. But I'm aware of it when it happens and saying, okay, well, what's going on? And sometimes it's the ascension and awakening process. It's just going through some stuff as you're ascending, and it's like, ooh, and it brings up some of that negative stories that you got to process and get rid of. And you're going to go through that. And it's about not reacting to that. It's about just saying, okay, here's where I'm at the moment. And if you do react, own it. But be aware. It's like everybody beats this up, and I've done it to myself, where I've beat myself up for acting a certain way, saying something, doing a certain thing, having something happen in my life. It's like, it's happening. It's here, created it. This is what I wanted to experience, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. Do I want something different? Yeah, I want to get to a certain place. And happiness, we got to learn to be happy right now. Everybody's in society and culture, and you see all these ads are just like, oh, you need this to be happy. You need this person to be happy. No, you don't. It's already within you. And when you get to that point and you're from a place of happiness, that's where your power is. Now you can start doing things. And yeah, when you do get those crappy moments, they just don't last long because you know how to go back to that, and you're super sensitive to the awareness that, hey, this isn't right. This is well, not right, because I don't believe in the spiritual realm there's right or wrong. In here in this physical plane, the 3D world, it's physical. The right or wrong. There's duality. I don't believe outside of it there's right or wrong. There just is, and it's about getting to that concept, whether you believe that or not. It's like that's how I believe at this moment. I'm like, wait, there is no right or wrong, good or bad. That's what we put here to try to compartmentalize so we can really own that or just understand it better is really what it is by our mind, the way it is at that moment. But it's awareness. And I know I went a long way around just to get to that piece of awareness. Becoming aware of your thoughts, becoming aware of how you're feeling, and then start asking yourself, where's this coming from? Why do I feel this way? Why am I manifesting this? Why is this showing up? Why am I not connected with my significant other or my kids? Why am I so bored and down? I would love to be doing something different. Because when we came here, we're here to serve humanity in some form or fashion and to do what lights our soul on fire. We came here to do something amazing, not just to go by in life. And that's why we get so stressed up. That's why we get so depressed, because we're living what someone else says we should.
You just
I want to
you just
really
inspire me a lot just now. Go, okay, keep going. I don't want to interrupt your flow. You just inspired me.
No. I was done there. That's why I stopped on that one, because you inspired me on the awareness piece of it. I'm like, it's the awareness. I'm like, that's my biggest thing as someone wanting to change their life is becoming aware that how they feel is not what they want, and they want something different, and they can make the freaking choice. They are not stuck where they're at.
Absolutely.
You don't have to stay in your current circumstances. Your outside world is not permanent. Now I'm getting fired up.
I love it. Piece of it. No, I love it. And everything that Tony is saying, it's always in the moment also, which gives me a lot of peace, because we don't have to be so worried about how was I being yesterday, or how am I going to be tomorrow, or how am I going to be an hour from now. Like, all that will ever have is this moment right here and now. So if we can be honest with ourselves and really ask ourselves, how am I feeling? I like the questions that Tony was asking. And I'm also going to encourage everyone, once we ask those questions, why am I so bored, or why am I whatever, and we're hearing that, I want us to also ask the question, how can I, because if we're bored, we want to be excited. We want to be having fun. We want to be having an adventure. If we're ever asking ourselves, why is something a certain way? We're asking that because we want something different. So then I encourage the next question that we ask is, how can I have more fun in my life? How can I be more excited about what I do? How can I travel more? How can I be healthier? Whatever the question is. And you may get the answer right then and there. Most likely the answer is going to come when you're just enjoying the present moment, when you're back to peace, back to present. Most time we don't ask questions like, how can I have more fun? Because if we're asking that, typically it's because right now we don't feel like we are. So we're not really a match to receive the synchronistic answer right then and there. As soon as we can ask the question and then release it, like, I know I'm going to get the answer to that. I'm excited for whatever the answer is. Now you just allow the universe to feed you the answer in infinite amount of ways. Through another person, through a video, YouTube that just pops on randomly. You could be watching a TV commercial. It could be happening in so many different ways. It's so much fun just to be aware of this. So I just encourage, because I love that you're asking those questions, Tony, and I encourage everybody in the audience just to ask the question that you are excited about the answer coming, and don't need the answer right there in that moment. What a lot of people do is they'll ask the question and they'll sit there and try to figure it out for the next few hours. And then because you can't figure out the answer right then and there, you actually become even more anxious and worried, because it's like you're trying to figure out how can you make more money right now. And you're just not in the energy to have that, your mind's not going that direction. Your energy's more on a lack of having money right now. So you're perpetuating that more and more versus how can I have more money flow into my life? And then releasing it, knowing that the answer is going to come maybe in just a few minutes from then. I mean, you might have an answer pop into your mind just a few seconds from then. It doesn't have to take a long amount of time. Maybe it might be a few days. Who knows? But it's going to come when you're a match to receiving the answer, when you're connected with God, when you're connected with love, when you're having fun, when you're enjoying, and you don't have to even be thinking about that subject. Like you could ask, how can I make more money? And you could be over here just having a great time with your kids or friends of yours. And then boom, now an idea pops in your mind because you're enjoying life. And now you're a match to the answers to all the life's questions that you asked previous to that. Once I discovered that and became aware of that, life just became much more enjoyable because the answers always come. I book that. Anybody out there listening, there's not many guarantees in life, but here's one. Any question that we have for God, for the universe, for all that is, we always receive the answer when we're ready to receive it in perfect timing, and we can flow with it and know that. So that's awesome.
Yes, when we are open to receive it. Because sometimes like I ask, or I'm praying, or when it's not coming, it's like, no, you're not open to hearing it. You're blocking it because we're so focused on trying to control the outcome, and that's where suffering comes from. And that you said you talked about this letting go of the outcome, right? Letting go of that, it's attachment. We attach to certain outcomes. We attach to having to answer them because we're unhappy with how we currently feel, and we don't want to feel that anymore. We want something different, so we attach it because it's how we feel on the inside. We feel lacking on the inside. It's not about, and that's where everybody is so struggling. I'm not, they struggle so much. I shouldn't say everybody, most people, because including me, because I still do it. So I guess in some sense, everybody has this issue on some level. Whether you're very super spiritual, very you're very conscious and awakening more and more, we still have it because we're in this physical body. So we're still going to have some of that come up, but it's still used for our good. Our ego actually can be great for us because it's all it's doing is saying, "Ooh, there's something in here that needs to be worked on more," and that's where that awareness piece. Oh, I got something more I need to shed. I need to release this. But it's about understanding, letting go of attachment. We attach to things because we think how we feel lacking on the inside, and there could be multiple things going on the inside of us, right? That create that attachment to that outcome. Or once I have this, I'll be happy. Once I have this, or this person's in my life, I'll feel loved. So we feel lacking. So we try to control and force. And that's the point I wanted to get to because that is true in my own life. And where I struggle the most is I'm trying to control when it comes from I feel that I have to do it all versus stepping back and letting go of the fear. Because anything we try to force in this lacking state is coming down to fear. It's really what it is. Well, if I don't do this, I'm going to run out of money. If I don't do this, so we try to force money. And there's so many people that do that. Like, if I have more money, I'm like, there's a lot of wealthy people who are unhappy because they're doing it out of fear. And then there's a lot of wealthy people who are so disconnected from it because all it is the energy flow and allows us to do what we want to do. They're not connected to it because it's like, oh, I can lose it all and I'm okay because I know how to get it back because I'm so connected to the flow of the universe that I can do that. And they understand that. So there's two sides of the spectrum there. But it's about letting go of the attachments, understanding and trusting and having faith that you're not alone. You don't have to do it by yourself. You just got to trust and be happy in the moment. In the moment. And that's the hardest piece for people is being happy in the moment, having fun in the moment. Yeah, I still get stressed. I still get frustrated at certain things, but it's me trying to control it. And what it is about becoming aware of that, getting aware as fast as possible. And that's the cool thing. And I'm sure you would agree with this, is that you still struggle with things too, but your awareness is like on point. It's like, oh, and it pops like, oh, wait, I'm off here. Like you mentioned it before, it's like you had a thought, you're like, whoa. Because when you become aware and you exercise that and you really get connected, you're like, whoa, your awareness is, I'm getting chills right now just talking about that piece of it. It's like, whoa, I'm off. Like when I'm crabby, I'm like, ooh. I mean, I catch it immediately when I'm crabby towards my daughter. I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. I was crabby. That's my own junk. My bad.
Absolutely.
And then she's like, okay, yeah, I forgive you. We're good because we're all crabby. And we all get crabby sometimes. It's not like just because you're awakened and I'm happy most of the time doesn't mean that this still doesn't happen, right? And it's like just because you're connected and you're manifest doesn't mean things don't happen because it's all part of our evolution. Our ego is actually here to help us evolve. A lot of people don't understand that piece of it, including myself. I'm still understanding that in myself. It's still here to help us evolve. And I'm speaking, that's coming through me right now. So this right here, what you just talked about, is actually helping me evolve more now because it's like, wait, our ego is here to help us evolve.
Absolutely.
It's like I used to try to push it away, right? And I don't know if you tried, no, 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 I hate the ego, I hate the ego. No, it's here to help me evolve. It's showing me what still needs to be healed and what needs to be worked on.
It's way more
So,
fun to consciously evolve because you're aware of it than to evolve by default and not realize it. And life is just like this roller coaster ride. The reason that it's so important to me, and I have no problem if I catch myself being critical of myself or others or anything else, I have no problem saying sometimes out loud. I mean, obviously, we're not others can hear me. Stop it, Noel. Like I don't allow the momentum, and this is why. Like the momentum, which is the most important thing when it comes to our energy to be aware of, and it could be to our benefit and allow us to really enjoy life. And it also could be to our detriment, and things could slide to where it could start with just being critical or frustrated or worried. And then if we don't, even if we're not aware of it and we don't catch it while momentum is continuing to slide down, all of a sudden we'd be like, you'd be powerless and depressed, which we've all been there also. And we're all capable of being there. Everything that I share about, I mean, I'm human as well. But like Tony mentioned, I don't want to feel depressed and powerless. So if I could see the early frustrations or anxieties that we have as human beings and not allow the momentum to increase, because that's what's going to take it down from, like, you're never going to go from laughing and joking to depressed in 1 second, but you can go from laughing and joking to now all of a sudden being worried about something, like, because now your presence is off of whatever you were just laughing and joking about, and now you switched your attention onto something else, which the way that we're thinking about the subject is always way more important than what the actual subject is. It's just the way that I'm choosing to look at, the financial situation or the health or the relationship is what's going to cause my energy right now in the moment. And then if we continue to look at it that way longer and longer and longer, that's when momentum will increase. And then all of a sudden we can go from feeling frustrated and worried to powerless and depressed. Good news for all of us, this also works, and I love using momentum this way, or allowing momentum to use me in this way, however you want to look at it, in reverse, where I'm doing anything that I'm enjoying, I'm at peace with anything, and then I'm focusing on that longer and longer, and then all of a sudden momentum starts to carry me from being peaceful and content to now I'm laughing and joking, and I'm happy and I'm joyful and I'm ecstatic, and now I'm euphoric, and now I'm just having the time of my life. Like, this is how it works for all of us if we allow our energy to flow in that direction. And my best advice for anyone when it comes to the enjoyment of life is, when you notice yourself enjoying anything in life, no matter what it is, no matter what you're doing, just let the rest of the planet not exist. Like, be so present to whatever you're focusing on that will allow your energy to keep going. And if there are other people around, they're going to love being around you. You're going to be so much fun being around when you're in that state, and you'll be able to add impact to people. Anything that you're doing, if you're by yourself, you're going to have the best time by yourself. Like, you're just a magnet to everything that you want to be doing. You're a magnet to great ideas. Just like for me, when I know I'm just really enjoying, like even right now, like I'm enjoying flowing with you, Tony. Like, my phone's on Do Not Disturb, even though it's being used for Instagram Live right here to the left. But the rest of the planet just doesn't exist to me when I'm doing anything, I'm involved in anything that I'm enjoying. And that could be by myself or with others. And that allows us to get the most out of that activity as far as attention and flowing energy and manifestation. And also just a lot of fun. Is so many of us, and I've done it before, we'll be doing something that we're enjoying, and then we're on our phone looking at this and like thinking about this thing we have to do. And oh, sorry, what were you saying? Like, our energy is just not able to go where it can go, and we're only cheating ourselves. I mean, it's not, and the other person that we're with, we're just not allowing ourselves to have as much enjoyment of life in the only moment that is promised for any of us, which is right now. So I can encourage anything. Just how much can you enjoy each moment? Don't make yourself wrong if you're not enjoying this moment right now. But if you're aware of it, now you have a choice, and choose whatever you like.
exactly. So you have that choice, and then when you're talking about, when you're happy, you can't, you don't go down to depressed, right? But then but you can also stay there, or if you're anxious or worried, you can get back to happy. So I think it was really cool to point out that we have control of how we feel and how we want to show up. So if we are sad, and I use this all the time, when someone's stressed or they're worried or they're sad, I can make them freaking laugh, because that's my gift, right? Laughing through life. I know how to make people laugh. And I can also sense when people are stressed or worried, where sometimes you can see it, sometimes they try to hide it, but I can still feel it. And I can sense that, and I've always been able to do that and to make them laugh. So if you are sad, you can laugh. And when you are laughing, you can't be sad in that moment. Right? And when you're happy, you can't be anything else but happy at that moment. But you choose. And we choose by allowing ourselves to tie into whatever's on the outside world. well, this person pissed me off. No, they didn't. You already had the anger inside of you, and all they did was trigger that feeling. No one makes us feel anything other than what we choose to, right?
Absolutely.
We are the ones. So it's like, okay, they're just in our movie. They're an actor in our movie, and they're triggering us something that need to be healed. But what we do is we try to project onto them. No, you did this. You got to change this. You got to do this because we want to feel good in the moment. We want other people to do it versus taking responsibility and saying, no, I'm responsible for how I feel. Nobody else. And I don't give a crap what everybody else is doing. I want to feel good. And that's the point of life, is to feel good, to have fun, to laugh, and to live fully, and to do what lights your soul on fire, not what everybody else says you should be doing. Because that's where you get disconnected. That's where you start being depressed. And I did that for 40 freaking years, living someone else's expectation of how I should show up. And that was so depressing because of fear of being rejected, fear of it being abandoned. And I want, because you said something earlier, and it kind of inspired me on this end, is when you're having fun, have fun. But something that happened in my own life, and I know there's other people that struggle with this, is if you have this fear, if you're having too much fun because you're not supposed to, you don't feel worthy of it, you sabotage the shit out of it. Just so be aware of it. If you're having fun and all of a sudden you feel like you got to sabotage it. If a relationship is going well, oh shit, I don't deserve a great relationship to be having a relationship, and you sabotage the shit out of it. Financially, oh, I don't deserve this. We do that all the time because of the deep down unconscious beliefs, because of all the traumas and stories. And if anything is a trauma, if we have a significant story behind it, and we can change, and this could be good or bad or however you want to refer to it, right? We can have good traumas because we always take trauma as being bad, right? Oh, the trauma's bad. But it's any significant event in our life that we have given meaning to. And the cool thing is anything that we experience in our lives, any word that we tie into, we can change the meaning of it to where it no longer has control over us. Anything. But it's about understanding and going within and finding where that story comes from, right? And saying, no, I no longer want to believe this. And that's when you say, stop it, Tony. Stop it, Noel. Stop it, Janice. I don't know why it's funny. It's not funny to say that. But it's like, stop it. I no longer want to do that. But we're so conditioned to think that everything is outside of us, that we don't have the power, that the power is something else. And you mentioned it earlier, that God is already within, because we are connected to that universal source, that energy. Our soul is God, because we are a connection to that God. Right?
Absolutely.
So therefore, we have the power to co-create what we desire and what lights our soul on fire. I think it's absolutely amazing. This is an amazing, powerful conversation, man.
We already knew it was going to be this way.
Like a giddy kid over here, just
for sure.
And then just seeing you being lit up, because it's completely different. Well, you were lit up when I was on the show too, but you sharing what you're sharing, man, it's just, you are so lit up, and I can feel it and see it. And then you're like lighting me up, and it's just going. I mean, I'm going crazy over here too. So
if I do this on I notice a difference between, because I'm going to give the same energy always, because I enjoy like sharing. I love helping humanity have the light bulb switch on. I just notice when I'm the guest and I'm being asked the questions, then it's just like I'm even more of myself, because I'm not. I mean, if I flow for 5 minutes straight, which I haven't talked for that long on this, and I do it sometimes on my show as well, it's probably the same energy. It's just something about being asked the question and getting to share that. There's a different energy versus I'm just, kind of pitching in on what you're sharing. Because I wanted on my episodes, I want people to really get to know the guest and feel their energy, and they're going to feel me anyway. So I noticed a little difference, but it's the same powerful energy.
Because you're serving.
Yeah.
Like when you're interviewing, you're still serving. But when you are the guest, you are in a different format of serving, because now you get to share your truths and what has helped you and what you've done to help humanity. So now you can really flow into it, man. It's like you're just like, rah. And as you talk more and more, you're just like, you get really into it. You just feel it. I'm just like, yes.
You know what it is?
Last question you said, I was like, yes.
I just realized what it is, because I was asking that question, like, am I different on mine versus this one? Because I know that I'm just going off of inspiration on my guests and whatever you guys share. Like the topic could be anything, and then I have inspired things to share there. Kind of makes it fun because there's so many episodes that people can get like a little bit of me on each one. But because I'm the guest on yours and I want to give your listeners like as much as I have here, I'm just making sure that I flow out everything, all the powerful energy that I have, so that they can be impacted and uplifted in any way, shape, or form that is, meant for them too in this moment. Because it's not like they have like 30 more episodes where they can pick little pieces out, from me in the future, unless they go enjoy mine, which you've already suggested they do.
Or we just have you on again, because we can go on and on and on about this stuff. And the cool thing is how you're speaking today, right? And that's something I want people to understand, is that we continue to evolve. So what you say today, and say 6 months later, I'm just using it as an example, right? Bring you back on the show can be completely different, because you've evolved more and you've gone deeper into your spiritual realm, right? Of who you are, and you can show up, or it can show up even deeper than what you shared before. So there's always something new that you can learn, especially, and then as we learn and grow from each other, because everybody shows up in our life to teach us something. And we can evolve from everybody that we encounter with and learn something new, learn something deeper, or go deeper with what we've already known and feel and experience as truth. But it can come back, because obviously in an hour time frame, you can't share everything, but you try to condense everything in there, and it's soft flow. But everything that is shared today was supposed to be shared, because there's no coincidences, there's no mistakes, right? It's all supposed to be done this way. So everything you're sharing, everything I'm sharing was supposed to be shared at this moment. And the next time we have on, because I'm going to continue this conversation because I think it's amazing. Like, I was on your show for an hour, you're on mine, it's 2 hours. I'm like, man, we can go forever.
For sure.
But everything at that moment is supposed to be shared at that moment. And it can be completely different the next time, because we're going to continue doing the work, the inner work that helps us show up even more powerfully. And as the universe does it with us, and planets does it with, we evolve even more, because we're spiritually awakening more and more. We're going to show up and speak differently. So you're not going to be the same in 6 months. Go ahead. You said you had something here.
I'm going to touch on what you just said, because what you'll feel from me 6 months from now, or from Tony 6 months from now, or a year from now, that's not promised to us, but we'll likely get to it. But what you'll feel from us is additional life experiences and additional clarity, because that's why I'm so pro life experience for everyone out there, because every time you experience life in any way, shape, or form, you're going to take some things from that experience that you might say, well, I really love that. Oh, I didn't really enjoy that very much. Depending on also what our energy, we've talked a lot about this, is reflecting in the moments of that life experience. There could be a lot more of that life experience that we don't really enjoy based off of the energy that we're in. And then there could be a lot more of that life experiences that we do enjoy. And then also little bits and pieces where we're like, oh, I know I want to just continue experiencing this part of people like this, or, health, challenges like, or, exercise like this, or, diet like this. It's just life experience, more clarity. So we're still going to be 6 months or a year from now, because all I'm doing right now, all you guys hear from me or ever hear from me, especially when I'm sharing and just wanting to make an impact, is connecting with the divine, connecting with this energy, and allowing that to flow through my life experience. Like, it's just flowing through that. Like, you're not going to hear me all of a sudden start speaking in Spanish right now to you, because that's not part of my life experience. I haven't learned that. So even though I have the non-physical energy flowing to me, and that what you're hearing, it can only flow through the lenses of what I've experienced in this life, and you're hearing that. So the truth parts of it, the laws of the universe, like what I like to share this all rooted in, that will still be the same. You'll still hear that. And then additional awareness, because we can become more and more aware of who and what we truly are from this moment, all day, every day, for 100 years from now, and we'll still only be aware of a fraction of how powerful we really all truly are, which is awesome. That gets me very excited to know. But again, it's just coming through life experience and more awareness, becoming conscious of, more things, and that'll be, forever. So I like how you put that. That's so true, which makes it fun to, just interact where you are right now. Make sure this is a choice for you. If you want to be the fullest version, the real true version of yourself, connect with this energy, call it God, call it love, call it universe, call it all that is, call it whatever you want to call it. And when you're connected with it, the force, I love it. And just and just you can trust. Like, you don't have to be blissed out of your mind to be connected with it. But if you're just at peace, if you're content, if you're just not, in this moment worried about anything, if you're not frustrated about anything, if you're not anxious about anything, if you're just allowing yourself to be, you're just chilling, you're connected. You could have an awesome idea coming. You could be taking a shower. You could be doing anything, and you're connected. So we don't have to make it harder than it is. And just know that when you are connected, when any of us are connected, now we're available for momentum to carry us into these higher frequencies that we all really, really, really enjoy. And I love the whole theme of everything you do, Tony, because yeah, if you're laughing out there, if you're having fun, you're connected. You don't have to second guess that. Just enjoy it.
Just learn to enjoy and have fun and stop questioning why you're having fun. Should you be having fun? Should you be feeling this way? No, you are feeling exactly what you're supposed to be feeling in that moment. And stop trying to think yourself out of having fun, thinking yourself out of living life to how you want it. Because that's all it is living the stories from deep down, right? It's just live it. And I wanted to challenge you on something, because you're talking about, I can only do it through my life experiences, which is true, right? But I also believe at some point that we could channel speaking different languages, even if we don't know it, because it's the channeling of the collective, right? And I believe that there's enough out there that at one point we did, but we decided to forget it. And I believe some people can do that. So I'm not saying that you can't.
I love it. Possibility.
I believe it's possible.
For sure. I never disagree with anything of possibility. So I love that you said that. 100. I agree 100%. And that's the fun part of life is, if that is possible, which everything is, I just haven't become consciously aware of how to let it flow out of me yet, which is awesome. I also haven't become consciously aware of how to levitate, off the ground, which that's possible too. So there's so many things that,
yes.
Or what we talked about on our episode where you talked about time travel or being able to show up in other places.
And by locating awesome. and I can't fully fathom that, but I'm open to it now, because I'm like, because where I used to be and where I'm at now, and I'm like, I can't hold on to these beliefs, because all it is something that I don't understand yet. It's the unknown piece that I don't quite get. And it's okay, but it's a possibility. I'm like, I think we can do that.
For sure.
Because we're powerful, and we are infinite. We're divine spiritual beings. I believe we have that ability to do that.
For sure.
It's about remembering or being open to it. I don't know if I'll ever get to that point, but I think at some point, as we continue to evolve and awaken back to our truer selves, like the whole planet starts doing that, the whole universe starts doing that, I believe that that's an option, a possibility that will come back. I don't know if I believe that possibility is there, and I'm like, man, I think it can. I think we can channel, because I already channel some. Every time we have an idea or a thought, or like I had a video I wanted to do. Next thing you know, man, I had 2 pages of stuff flowing from. I got connected. I go, ooh, I need to write that down. And as soon as I put that pen to the paper, it started flowing to me. Then I'm doing something else, and it flows to me. It's when and you said it earlier, we are not focused on worry or anxiety, things flow. We're connected. And sometimes it could be doing something else, and we are just in the moment at that moment. We could be cooking. You could be taking a shower. You could be taking a crap. I don't know. I'm just... But when you're in that moment, that's when things flow, because I have a lot of ideas come to me when I'm in the shower. Or sometimes when I'm just sitting here, I could be cooking. I could be having fun with my daughter. I'm like, ooh. And she gets me all the time, because I was driving, and all of a sudden I started giggling. And she's like, Dad, what's going through your head again right now? I'm like, I just had an idea. But it's the universe, the collective, guides, whatever you want to call it, that piece of it is channeling at that moment an idea to you. Because we have all the answers within, right? So all it is about connecting and allowing it to flow, allowing our soul, our connection, that piece of it, that oneness that's already inside of us, to connect with the oneness that's out. But because it's not really out, because it's in everything, in us and everywhere. It's about connecting to that divine that's outside of our, as one of my mentors said, meat suit. And it just cracks me up, this meat suit that we have. And I'm like, man, that's so like disgusting, but yet funny at the same time. To really connect, allow that flow. So when something's flowing, like right now, what we're speaking, it's flowing from us. And I did it early, and I don't remember what spot I did it in. Something flowed from me that I was like, I'm just now getting that truth right now. Like I was speaking it, but it wasn't coming from me at that moment. But it was a truth that I was realizing at that moment. And I know that probably happens to you as well. It's like, absolutely. Oh, where'd that come from? That's not words I would say. Like I had something to say, I was writing something down. I'm like, where the hell did those words come from? I would have never said that in that format. Is that happening to you as well?
100%. And that's why I'd like to record all these conversations and share them, because that's really what started the whole podcast journey for me. Is like my ex-girlfriend, is still a close friend of mine, lives in Hawaii, was episode number 1 on my podcast. And in our relationship, we used to have to pause for a second and hit record on a voice memo and just put it on the counter and then continue the conversations. We're like, we're going to want to hear some of this stuff. Like, because some of the stuff that you're saying is like, whoa, that was so powerful. Like when you start flowing and your frequency starts to rise. So yes, and we're always like, people use like channeling all the time. We're always channeling from whatever. I use like the radio analogy. Like if we want to listen to a certain type of music, we have to turn the radio channel to that specific frequency. And because of that frequency, now we're receiving the information from that channel. We do the same thing with these meat suits. We are tuned into a certain frequency at all moments of time. And we can't just label. It's possible, but right now we don't have the capabilities ourselves to just label the exact frequency. But we have scientific things. Like I've had actually scanners on me before, EEG scanners, where it's like, Noel, you're at this frequency right now. And then from there, the thoughts that pop down into our mind are a match to that frequency, just like the radio channel. So, it's awesome. Like if you want to channel like whatever, like you just have to get to the frequency, and then it can flow through you. So that's part of the fun of life is when you can allow yourself, because I don't have to ask myself right now, like what frequency am I on? I just know it's one that feels good. So, and as it like goes around, then you pull like information from other places and then it flows out of us. So that's an awesome part of life for sure.
I love that you said the vibrational frequency because that's how life works. So a lot of times what happens, and when you were saying that, man, it made this analogy come to me that was shared with me before and realized in my own life. So you're talking about a radio station, right? Which is all in line with it. So I think it's really awesome, and I'm smiling here because it's like with life, when we consciously put something out, right? When we're conscious of it, we're like, okay, I want to listen to this station here, but the frequency that we're playing from is like, I want to listen to this station, but I want to listen to it from this station. And it doesn't match that way. It's like, no, whatever station you're getting is what music or whatever you're going to get at that moment. It's the same thing with our lives. It's like consciously we have this, okay, I'm tuning in with this frequency, I'm sending it out. But we're receiving back where we are vibrationally here on the inside and how we feel emotionally and where our state of being is at that moment, where our energy is. And this is what people try to show up differently than what they are, and I'm included in that, trying to fake it, right? Oh, I'm positive all the time. It's like, no, you got to go within and deal with that energy and raise that vibration. And as your vibrational frequency raises and starts moving from that channel to the channel that you desire, that's when the things that are matching your frequency start showing up, and that's where the manifestation and attraction can come. Sometimes it's immediate, because it's like you're in line with it right away. And there's times that it takes a while because you got to do the work to match that frequency. And you talked about having the probes, and that, I say probes, but having the
EEG scanners on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the scanners on. Mm-hmm. Like Dr. Joe Dispenza, he does that in his events, man.
That was where it was. That's where it was.
Was it really?
Yeah, in Cancun, 2017.
I've never done that. I want to experience it because he's got a lot of that power in having the scans. But they've even had it where they just sense the energy in the room, the vibration in the room, not actually on people.
Yeah, it was a part of that.
And it still comes up. So people are like, oh, that's crap. No, there's science behind it. Uh-huh. And there's so much proof and evidence there. It's like, we are vibrational beings.
I wore a body scanner for a full day at one of those, and it was sensing the energy coming from my heart. Like it was literally something I wore all day. I couldn't get in the water for 24 hours because I was wearing it around the clock so that I could see the energy that was going on. Yeah, and it's interesting. I had a little bit of a drama in that because I went with my ex-girlfriend. We're still friends, but there's still things in relationships, especially you've known someone for a while, that can trigger each other. And I remember there was like a little part of it where we were kind of going at each other a little bit. And so I got to see that as a part of the energy as well. So super powerful.
Wow, I love that. And we got to come to an end here because we've already gone into an hour. And I can sit here, but man, you just freaking inspired more stuff. We're going to have to do another conversation on this because you talk about relationships. And now I want to talk more about the relationship, how relationships are actually supposed to be, not to get other people, manipulate people to get them to fulfill something that lacks inside you, but realizing that we're already whole and complete, right? But it's so awesome that you're sharing that piece with it. Of course, you got to wait to the end of the damn interview to start sharing the scanners and all this other stuff. Dude, See, I'm getting lit up. I love seeing that stuff and experiencing that power of how we are vibrational frequencies, and we're all energy, and that our hearts, that's one thing I wanted to say, is our heart is that biggest source of energy. So what's really flowing? Is it really blocked? And I can tell you right now, my heart has been, that's one of the biggest things I've been working on, is shedding those layers of the heart chakra, and all the, letting that flow go. And that's where fear kind of tightens that up, and experiences like tighten that up. But our heart is the flow to our divinity, and that's where it flows from us. And the energy that's blocking it or not blocking it allows what's flowing back to us, whether we're conscious in our mind or not. Because we have a mind, we have a body, right? But we are a soul. And the gateway to our soul is through our heart.
Absolutely.
That's my belief on that anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, we can talk about this stuff and many other things, and everything that you say, Tony, will inspire things from me and vice versa. So we've shared a lot of awesome stuff with your audience, so which makes me very happy.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear this when it comes out. And oh, you're awesome, man. I'm excited for everything going on with you and future collaborations and all this stuff. Definitely, it's cool when social media does this also, which is a reason I'm super appreciative for it. Is allows us to connect with people where this conversation would have had to happen a few hundred years ago. Like I would have had to write a letter and then mail it, and then Pony Express would have written it to you, a few months later, and then you'd be like, "Oh, this is awesome," and you wrote a letter, and then we would have been able to just share it with our little tribe, like in our local city, and this is what Noel said,
Yep.
and then we would have. So this would have been like 5 years for.
It would take forever.
Yeah.
Or at some point, it's like, oh, I got to go to you, or you got to go to me to do the interview. And it's like, oh, can I get there and do all that? And it's
for sure
to actually have this conversation. It's like, no, now it's like all over the world. No matter how, like, I could be on a beach and have a conversation with you and be like, okay, now I'm going to go back to doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is the part that lights me up, is having conversations, because there is no denying it, that I like to talk, love talking. Yeah. We were talking about this in the beginning before we actually started recording, that a year ago I was like, man, how can I get paid to talk and share and have fun doing all of that? And that's, this is having these conversations allows it, because it's just sharing to the world. And because of that, aligning with that, serving humanity, things start flowing from this place of happiness and place of fun. And that's where it's at, is being happy in the moment now. You talked about that, like being happy before the thing comes to you, because the thing can't come to you while you're not happy, while you're discontent, while you feel lacking, while you're wanting. You can be eager for it, let go of the attachment to it, but have fun in the moment. I got in a wreck. I'm laughing right at that moment. I can have a financial thing going on and I can still be okay. Doesn't mean I don't get stressed or worried about it. I just don't stay there long, because I immediately go back. And sometimes it could be a battle, whatever I'm battling with, but it's okay. It's like I'm experiencing it. Problem is we don't want to feel that way in that moment, so we try to push it away. Oh, I need this answer now because I don't want to feel this way anymore. Well, how do you let go of the feeling in the moment while you're waiting for that answer?
For sure.
Right?
Cool. Awesome, as soon as you said that, I was like, because that example, you're like, I want to feel this way now, or else I'm not going to be happy. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah.
It's going
to
be a challenge.
I got 20 t-shirts too.
Yeah. That's going to be a challenge.
No, you got to be happy before you get the thing, because no one can make you happy. No thing can make you happy. Happiness is in you. Love is already within you. Completeness and wholeness is already in you. Right? I feel like I should be saying an amen over here or preaching. Can I get an amen? Because I'm like, this
amen.
That's the biggest piece for me, because, man, that was like, I had someone reach out to me. It's like, how, like I said earlier, it's like, how do you, like, it's in, go within. Stop seeking without. And for this particular person, they didn't feel lovable. She didn't share that with me. I felt it, and I felt the emotion behind it, because I'm an empath, so I could feel that. And I asked her the question. I said, why don't you feel lovable? You keep seeking love in other people. And she goes, replies back, how did you know to say that? That's freaking, was that a good guess? It's magic. So the key that I want to say to people is to ask yourself for 2020 is, how can you feel good? How can you have more fun in life for this year? How can you make it magical? That's my word for this year, is I want to experience and have a magical year and have a ton of fun doing it. I want to have more fun and get rid of the things that are no longer fun to me. because we have that power to do that. And with that, I want to ask you this question. What is one key to having more fun in life? One, first thing that pops in your mind, because I know you can go, holy shit, there's a lot that I could say that.
I'm so happy you
First
said
thing
that.
that pops in your mind.
I was going to share this anyway, but I'm happy that you asked, and now I'm being invited to share. This is what you just inspired me to share anyway. The key to having more fun in life is being happy and content and peaceful in the moment, because that's going to lead to the fun adventures. I did, and I'll share this brief. I did a post right at the end of last year, 2019, and it was just a gratitude post. It was just an appreciation post for anybody watching that had posted anything on social media or I had a conversation with that inspired me, uplifted me even a little bit, because I was just appreciative for it. And just sharing with the audience that 2019, for no reason external, was my happiest year of my life, because it was a choice that I made at the beginning in 2018, 2017, that was what was most important to me, was to focus on, waking up in the morning and immediately feeling grateful for being awake. And immediately, just part of my practice is to meditate for 15, 20 minutes so I can feel at peace at least, or even better, feel really good, feel really excited. And then just see a challenge as a challenge to me. Could I live the majority of my day, or if not all of my day, in this peaceful or happy, joyful state? And then as a result of that being my focus and being just happy in the moment, that's when all the fun reflections happen. And I could say the second thing that I would say is that 2019 was my most fun year of life, but it wasn't because of all the external things first. It was because of the internal first that led to the things that were fun externally, and not in reverse. Because I've had plenty of years where I'm like, let me go see how much fun I could have. But because my internal was jacked up, it wasn't that much fun at all. I didn't want to go do any of the things that might sound fun, but you don't want to experience those things if you're not, really fully there and enjoying yourself, in the moment. So yeah, focus on the moment, how happy you can be. That will lead to all the fun that you want to have.
Love it. And I got to say this is like you're talking about, oh, well, I wasn't good on the inside, so I wasn't really having fun. It's like we could have fun doing things, but if we're not here on the inside, it's so temporary. And the only reason we're doing those things in the first place is because we want to escape how we feel when we're not in that moment. That's how I was. I wanted to be around people. I wanted to party. I wanted to do things all the time, which nothing wrong with those things, right? Because I still can have fun. I can still do things, but it comes from a different state for me. Now, those things that I do outside of me are even more fun. I can have fun going to the damn grocery store. I'm going to do something crazy and embarrass the hell out of my daughter when she's with me. Because that's what, but now she starts doing this stuff. I mean, we go in there like, and I'll get inspiration. I'll see a freaking goofy ass hat. Ooh, I'm getting it. I'll see a big ass caterpillar sitting in the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, I got to take a selfie with this damn thing. I mean, it's just, and having fun with it. It's in the moment. What inspires you at that moment? Let's have some freaking fun, because I am seeking fun everything I do. But there's some areas of my life that I need to really push that into that too. It's like, okay, I'm doing well here, but how do I do that here? How do I do that well in my financial realm as I'm working and moving and driving towards that goal of where I want to be financially? Because when we're, like you said earlier, where your focus is, the energy flows. I don't think you said it in quite those words, but that's exactly what you were saying. Mm-hmm. So where your focus is, if you're focusing on going broke, not having enough money, or having more, how are you going to pay this? You're going to have this worry and stress and anxiety, and it's not going to flow. And when you step back and say, all right, God, all right, universe, I'm done. This is my intention. This is what I need. You know it. Show me the opportunities. Versus trying to control it. Because when we're trying to control where things flow, we get stressed and tired and worn out and burnt out. And then we end up getting sick because we're trying to force, like, if I don't work all the time, I'm not going to have money flow. No, that's not really how it works. Because I know people that don't work that hard, don't work that much, but it flows. You start attracting it to you. Man, I could go on and on. We're going to be here for 4 hours. This would take forever to upload if I had to keep going longer. I love that you shared that. And actually, I think that's what I'm going to title this as well, is how to be peaceful and happier in the moment to attract and manifest the life that you desire.
Love it.
I think that's perfectly how I wanted to. So anybody listening to this piece of it, this is what it's going to be titled, I think. It could change as I'm going through editing and putting these mixes together, but absolutely love it. So I want to end with this. I can't talk again. How do people contact you, get in touch with you if they want to learn? I want to stop for a second. You have a community. that you inspired to help people grow and learn more, right? Talk about that really quick on that piece of it.
Absolutely.
What's it called and what is it for?
Yeah. So I asked the universe, I asked God, how could I help people become more aware of who and what we all truly are, have the light bulb turn on, so the awareness piece, and at the same time help people once they have this awareness. Now, when they ask themselves what sounds most fun in life, what sounds most fulfilling in life, to have the time and the money to be able to do it. Because then, in my opinion, I mean, there's nothing that stops us if we have the awareness that we can be, do, and have anything, and we have the resources, the time and money resources to go out and do it, whether you're someone that wants to build schools in impoverished areas or travel around the world with your family and just have fun and just spread light as you're doing, or anything in between. You want to help with the environment or whatever it is. And so I created a community called Universal Abundance, the Universal Abundance community. It's universalabundance.co. And that's what we focus on, is the awareness, access to, awesome people like, like Tony, like myself, like anyone that is inspired to share, whether it be information inside of the community in the form of videos, audios, written material, and then also the access part, which is important. We do live streams and Q&As and mastermind, and the only intention is to uplift and inspire the people that are in the community to be uplifted and inspired. And then as a result of the awareness and the access, now the abundance part, we can have something so valuable that we can attract the abundance to it. So it's like a monthly country club where if you want to be involved on any given month, you can be. And then we'll not only allow you to be involved and want you to be involved and want you to share anything you're inspired to share, we'll actually pay you every month residual income for the people that wouldn't know about this awesome community if it weren't for you sharing it with them. And then as that multiplies and more people are affected and impacted, you can get to the point where you're like, wow, like I have the awareness now, and I have enough money coming in monthly without me putting any more really attention into it, because I've already have it created with the residual stream. So now I have the time also with the money. Now I can go out and live life however I want. And that's my view of humanity. I just want to see what, as more and more and more of us have the capability of living this way. And you don't have to do it through the universal abundance community. This is just a tool and a resource for someone that does want to live life this way, to be able to ask yourself when you wake up in the morning, what sounds most fun, what sounds most fulfilling, and then just go live it. This is a tool. So, but I just want to see, while I'm here on this earth, if there's millions of people or billions, everybody's invited, that literally have the awareness, which is the most important thing, and then have the resources to go out and live life however they see that they want to live for them, because we're all different, 7.7 billion of us. What an awesome world that'll be when you have people just on their different missions and we can come together and co-create, whenever we choose, and collaborate. And this is the world that I want to see. So I just created my version of it.
No, yeah, because that's what we're here is light workers and healers and teachers, spiritual comedians. Same thing. I'm a spiritual comedian, but I'm a spiritual teacher at the same time. Is to enhance humanity, to shed the light and love in the world, to get us back to who we truly are versus all the war and the hate and everything else you see going on, and realizing that everybody has their own journey and to change the way we see the world. And that's the renewing of the earth. It's through the humanity and all these spiritual teachers, and of course the universe and the planets are all helping facilitate this alignment that is reawakening who we truly are and getting us back to that true state where we could be bilocating, we could be teleporting. Like I said, I don't know, but I believe that the opportunities are there. I believe those possibilities are there, because just because I don't believe in it, it just means my level of understanding is not there yet. It's the unknown piece. And as we grow and evolve, it's possible. So I just let go of, well, that's not true, that's crap, or that's woo-woo. Yeah, maybe for that moment in time for me at that moment. Because there's things I'm doing now that I thought was bullcrap, that I thought was woo-woo, that I laugh at now going, if you would have said a year ago that I'd be doing this thing, I would have laughed at you and ran away. But here I am experiencing it. You can't, that's the thing. You can challenge someone's knowledge or whatever, but you cannot challenge someone's experience. The stuff that I've experienced, like I had something going on the other night. I was up for like 3 hours because my body was going through some spiritual stuff. I was getting I call it like I was getting a download, and my body was moving, and I felt that, man, I was going into a different realm for a moment. Like I could still feel my physical body and hear everything in the room in the middle of the night, but I felt that I went into a higher dimension at that moment for a little while, And dude, it was like this peace. I was like, holy crap, this is what it feels like. And of course, my body was fighting with it a couple times, and every time I just breathed into it, dude, it was absolutely amazing. And I remember saying as I was going through this for 3 hours, it was doing this from 3 to 6 in the morning. Best time to do that, right? But I'm going, and I kind of giggled as I'm laying there, right? It was like and I'm going, there's no way you can tell me there's anything different right this moment. Because I'm like, I am truly experiencing this power right now. It's like, holy cow. And then, of course, yesterday, because of that, it was bringing up those old stories. So I was dealing with some anxiety and dealing with some fears that coming up. And I was like, holy crap. I'm like, it's exposing and releasing that can no longer be there. It's the next level of evolution and spiritual awakening. Beautiful, man. So that they can go to, and I know you said this, and again, I will have this all in the comments, all in the notes for everybody to reach out. And I encourage you to go check out his community at universalabundance.co. Mm-hmm. And you can actually, if you want to, you can go out to noelstrain.com mm-hmm. and have access to that as well. And of course, connect with him on Instagram, which is Noel Strain as well. Again, I will have all of this in the notes so you can do that. Make sure you check them out. I hope, actually, I don't hope, I know if you are ready, you're going to get some bits and pieces from this that's going to resonate and align with you. And it's going to be the seed that's going to transform your life at some level. Because if you're listening to it, that means you're aligned to some level and you're looking for more. And I know there's some powerful truths that Noel shared today that are going to resonate with you. Maybe not all, but I know that some are. And I'm honored to be a part of this journey to share this message with you all so that you can have that. I'm glad to be, what's the word I'm looking for? A conduit for that flow to you all. And even to share, because he inspired me to share some things that aligns with you and resonates with you as well. So awesome. Look forward to drop here soon. You know it when I'll do it. You'll have it. You'll see it. Enjoy it. And of course, I want to hear your feedback on it as well, how it has served you as you evolve to more light and more love in the world. Talk to y'all soon.
Appreciate you, Tony.
Awesome, man.
How was that? That was awesome. That was fun.
That was my second interview.
I love it. That was fun. Anybody that listened to us that whole time, for sure, there was some impact there from you and from us. I mean, we're the flow. And people, everybody, we always receive what we're ready to receive. So, in the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I'm going to be working on this piece of it. I'm hoping to have it all. I'm hoping to have it out by Wednesday at least. And like you said, as I start doing more and I get used to doing more of this, it may be 2 a week. It may be, it gets every day. Right now I'm going, I want to focus on one because I'm still trying to figure this shit out and probably get a new computer so it goes faster.
Yeah. No, I was doing what you're doing now too, as far as clipping the little pieces to promote it, which is awesome as well. Which I'm in the habit of doing that, and I'm thankful I got in the habit of that at the beginning. Is like just clipping out like really powerful when the energy is flowing powerfully, not even knowing what I was going to use it for, as far as additional clips at that moment. But now, like that's what I'm focused on today, and making like a little highlight video of like a lot of the powerful stuff, which is going to help promote the community, Universal Abundance community, and other stuff. Because I'm going to start doing live, a lot more live, like workshop type things, like during the week for people that are attracted to it. So I could just, flow and answer questions and all these things. So I'm making a little highlight video.
Yeah, I got to get into your community because you share some things, and for me, looking at your community, what you shared before, I'm like, damn, I need to get in this community. And I haven't done it yet, so definitely want to be in that, and because obviously I can learn some more from there too, and learn from other people, because we don't have all the answers. None of us do. Well, all the answers are within us, but it also inspires those answers to come out too.
We have everything we need for where we are right here and now, and that's all. That gives me peace.
Yeah, and I love it, dude. And I probably shouldn't have put that in the actual. I can always edit that piece out, but I think I'm gonna call it "How to Have a Powerful, Peaceful, and Happy." How to have fun is to be peaceful and happy in the moment. I think that's what I'm calling, how to be peaceful and happy in the moment, and living a life that is fun and whatever. So
you could leave everything in if you want. Like when I started doing, like I let not that you have to do this or should or shouldn't. I don't really use those words, but I started letting the audience hear my whole like thought flow as it's going, because I think it's just entertaining to hear the title, because they heard right when that popped in your mind to say it. And if that's what you title it, then great. And if you don't
They're
title
like,
it that,
"Holy
there's
crap, how'd that
still,
come to?" I'm like, "That's
yeah,
how I was inspired." And at that moment,
yeah.
I'm going, "This is what I'm calling it."
I think that's what makes podcasts fun, is like you get to hear the whole. I actually had a guest point this out to me early on because I was going to take something out. They like heard my whole like thought flow, and I was like, I'll just take this part off. She's like, no, you should leave it in. Like, that's awesome. I was like, all right, I'll leave
Well, thanks
it
for challenging me on that. I'll
in.
definitely just leave it there. Then I think it's more of, "Ooh, do I want people to hear this part about me?" I think it's that ego piece of it, saying, "Oh, I don't want people to see this." It's like, no, just let it flow, and because people got to see how you evolve too. Because it's like you so often see people like, man, they're so polished and everything's so perfect, and it seems like, man, they're great at what they're doing. I'm like, they weren't always great
For sure.
interviewing. They weren't always great on stage. They weren't always great at doing things. I'm like, it's taken a lot of practice and screw ups. So I guess when people see your screw ups, they can relate to it more and say, okay, I can do this too.
Absolutely.
And it allows them to do that. So I love it, dude. I had a lot of notes coming down here. Definitely going to look into your group more too. And thanks for sharing, dude. That was
fun.
That was freaking powerful.
Yeah. No, it was
They're
fun.
very powerful.
It was fun.
Wow. I could have sat there and talked forever.
Yeah. No,
Seriously.
it's. I mean, any conversations like these where we know it's going to impact and uplift people. It's what I enjoy the most. My favorite. If I'm running my mouth, I want to be speaking about something that's uplifting and empowering for me, like to feel, because it feels good coming through me, flowing all this energy. And then the awesome with technology. I mean, my gosh, like you just never know. Like I actually just shared it into a few other groups while we were talking, like while you were closing out, like the last sections of us. Like I showed it. I was like, oh, I didn't share it into this group, like a global light worker group that I just joined, that I shared into right now. Who knows if the conversation can impact anybody?
Wow, that sounds pretty
Yeah.
interesting too. Yeah. So yeah, I'd love to hear how you're doing all that. So I would be sharing some of that stuff too. But this is like, I'm lit up right now, and having this conversation. I'm like, I'm so glad that you reached out to, because it was all supposed to happen that way. Because I was still going like, how do I make this more fun? How do I make my podcast fun? Because it's boring to me. Like I'm having some fun, but it's still not really. I'm like, I still don't feel like it's missing something. And I was going to do some of my comedy skits that I'm going to be putting on YouTube, and I'm still going to do that. So I'm going to have one interview, and then I'm going to have one comedy skit, or maybe just when it gets to the point, they're just flowing every single day because things are just flowing as I'm doing. But I got to learn this stuff and how to really get better at editing and putting it together and getting it out there and flowing. And at some point, I'll be able to hire someone to say, here, take the damn conversation, take this and edit it, let me see it, and then we're done. And then they'll get to the point where they know exactly how I want it, and they can just piece it together. Where I don't, they just give it to me and it's done. I mean, I literally want to be like, I want to have a conversation, I want to put a video together, and I want to keep on doing it and go and do more what lights my soul on fire versus spending this time. But right now, this is where I need to be. And, of course, I don't want to be sitting here for 4 hours trying to upload a video. Going to get a new computer and manifest. Like I said, I'm manifesting shit out of that. But it's about just really flowing with it and having fun. This what you inspired me for having this kind of. I'm like, I got done with yours. I'm like, holy shit, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been wanting to do, and I avoided it for whatever reason. Probably because I didn't think I'd be a good interviewer or whatever. I don't know.
You know what you could do? It just popped into my mind. Until you get a new computer, on Zoom, since you're doing these on Zoom, you could download when in the episode. It could just download it to the cloud, and then you could use any computer, whether it be someone else's or even the library or anything. Like you could get one of these like external hard drives, but you wouldn't even need it if it's on the cloud.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah, log on to the cloud, and then you could upload it right. You could do everything that you needed from. You could get around. You can get around, because I would be putting out there like, how could I get around the 4 hour process, because that would be draining for sure. You could, with technology, with the cloud, recording or external hard drive, you could get around that piece if you want to.
Yeah, because somebody said, I got a brand new computer. It's all for graphics and this, that. Maybe you can get it and bring it over and do it there. And I'm like, yeah, possibly do some of that now. But it's all. But that I needed to do that because I created that distraction to prevent me from doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Is putting this group out there, helping people laugh their way to total transformation. That's literally what I'm calling it. Laugh your way to total transformation. And it's really, from these skit videos I'm doing, which is making fun of how we act in relationships and life and all this other stuff. Like I have one now. It's I got to finish recording, which I'm doing it today. Is doing the whole Jerry Maguire thing. You complete me piece, but making a spoof on it. and say you want to learn how to not be this way or something along those lines, join my community. It's $29 a month is how I'm having it, where you get access to all these different, me sharing these truths about how to get back to it. But it's in three main categories: is laugh your way to your truest self. It's powerful, happy, and fulfilled. And then in